It's ever changing. You just don't know what to expect from one day to the next. Yesterday it was two small fountains of lava just shooting up, and one smaller one, the one closest over here was a little bit taller, and it was just one continuous fountain shooting up, and then you come down here today and it's like undescribable. I mean, it's like I can't even tell you how high that's getting into the air, but it's got to be what, 300 feet. And yesterday they were probably max of about maybe 100 feet, between 75 and 100 feet. So today they increased volume with those two going on simultaneously, and it looks like they're basically in the same spot, except they're just so huge. It's really hard to gauge exactly where they were yesterday, but they appears to be pretty much in the same place.
We just saw a phenomenal fountain at the end of Kahakai Street. It's the end now because the lava rolled across it, wiping out the entire northeast section of Leilani Estates. The fountains we're going is between 6, 19, 22. The fissures now are all just rolling into one another, and they're shooting hundreds of feet in the air. Kahakai intersected with Pohuiki, and that intersection is no longer there. It's gone. It's covered with lava. And the other, if you turn right, and that was the edge of Leilani Estates. That whole, there's a couple streets that came off of it, all gone. And right now it's a lava lake. The closest residence from the edge of the lava was within 75 feet of the edge of the lava flow. And a lot of the photographers who are staying overnight there, with the owner's permission, saying that within 24 hours that home could be demolished.
I wished it would end so we could get back home into our homes. That's exactly what I wish. And nobody else lose their homes. I mean, this is beautiful to look at, but it is destructive for a lot of people who have homes down here on the bottom. We have a dog that has respiratory problems, so we come down during the day just to have a sense of normalcy, cut the grass, take care of the yard, fix dinner, and then we go back to the senior citizen center in Pahoa.
On my sulfur dioxide ratings that we got from the Hawaii Fire Department, it was about 1 to 0.3, fluctuating with the wind. It stayed relatively low. The winds were perfect, blowing all the sulfur dioxide over the lava lake away from us. Good for us on that side of the lava lake, but anybody on that other side of Leilani Estates and in Lower Puna, they're really catching the SO2. That northeast section of Leilani is within half a mile of Puna geothermal. Right, you can see it. If you just turn your head and you look, there's PGV and there's some fountains, so it's really close to one another. Yeah, University of Hawaii Hilo does some mapping with drones that really helps Hawaii County. They fly over grid patterns over the flow, and they're able to feed that information back to Hawaii County. And every morning they get an update from the scientists at UH Hilo, and that intelligence really helps provide information to the county so they can make decisions for the residents. The lava, just to see, it's amazing. And you just think it's the sight, but it's the smell, it's the heat that radiates off of it. It never looks the same in the fountain. And you realize that stuff is so beautiful, but it affects people's lives. So you look at it with a grain of salt, and you're like, it's beautiful, but my goodness, it's very disruptive. You know, with these lava lakes and lava flows, the gases, with this much lava, there are a lot of gases out there. So please stay tuned to Hawaii County's announcements about the sulfur dioxide for your safety. The latest information is there. We want to make sure that people are safe with that gas.
Hawaiian Volcano Observatory reports that the lava flow near Highway 132 has gained speed and is now advancing rapidly. Due to this advance in speed, residents in the Kapoho area, including Kapoho beach lots and vacation land, are advised to evacuate. You are at risk of being isolated due to possible lava inundation of Beach Road near Four Corners. At the present rate of flow, it is possible that Beach Road near Four Corners may be blocked within 4 to 6 hours. Shelters are open at the Pahoa Community Center, Keau Community Center, and the Shear Foundation Church. Shelters are pet-friendly. This is your Hawaii County Civil Defense.
Hi everybody, I'm glad to be on the call with you today. Just want to give you a quick update about what's going on at Kilauea volcano. So the eruptions are still continuing from the two sites at both the summit and in the lower East Rift Zone. And the lower East Rift Zone vents have activity has started to move from the furthest eastern vents and it started to kind of go back towards the west. So we're still seeing a little bit of activity, which is the vent that's furthest to the east. So at 17, I think I said 17, but here we are again, 17. The fountaining is very low at that vent, and there's no progression of the flow front, so it's still just in the same location that it has been on our maps for several days. Moving a little bit to the west, 22 is active, 19 is active, 6, and then 5 or 13 in that area, and 23. So overnight and into the morning, we're seeing just a really long line of low fountains occurring from these fissures. Number 22 seems to still have the main focus of activity, with heights going up to, again, about 200 feet above the vent level for the fountain heights. And then the fountains a little bit further to the west from there are producing heights of closer to 60 feet or so, 60 to 100 feet. And the lava flows from those are issuing towards the south, and the ocean entry is still active. It has started to propagate towards the west. So there's a wide swath of abandoned ocean entry channel on the eastern edge of where the ocean entry is now. There are the area to the north of the active fissure line is relatively blocked by there's spatter ramparts. So it's like walls of lava that get built up as the fountains are bubbling out and shooting up the spatter, and the spatter's landing on this wall. So it's creating a kind of a blockade from lava moving to the north in the areas, at least through the 2019-6 fissure area. And moving to the summit, we saw an explosion last night at just after 10 p.m. that pushed up ash plume to about 8,000 or 9,000 feet above sea level that was captured in radar imagery. Sometime this week we're going to get some more detection equipment installed at the summit. There's going to be an antenna that will capture electric charges, so that will help us to determine what's going on in the plume. I don't have a whole lot of information about that, so I won't be able to answer specific questions. And I'm not sure when that will be coming, but that's just another way that we're going to be detecting the summit activity. Earthquakes at the summit are still elevated, and the summit is still subsiding. There are explosive events that push up the plume at least 2 times a day, and people will be experiencing ashfall downwind. There are smaller explosive events that are also occurring intermixed in between there, and they are still producing ash, so there's just kind of it's not a continuous outpouring of ash, but there's just pulses of more vigorous ash and less vigorous ash that's coming out of the summit. And then, going back down to the lower east strip zone, the earthquake activity it's pretty stable. It's just continuing on about the same rate that we have been seeing over the past few days. And deformation is showing that the rift zone is not inflating per se or deflating, but it is widening to accommodate the magma beneath the system. That's it for the geologic update.
Thank you, Wendy. Yesterday you spoke briefly about the methane explosions, and since then we've gotten quite a few emails from reporters asking about methane explosions and about the blue flames that we posted on our Facebook page. Could you very briefly say something about that again today? I think some of those people may be listening on the line.
Yeah, sure. So when methane burns, it burns with these blue flames. So you see an image on our website and on our Facebook page that's showing these blue flames. They're coming up through road cracks. So what's going on is that when lava interacts with a vegetated ground surface, it's going to burn the ground surface, burn the vegetation, and that causes methane gas to form. The methane gas will flow through the ground, through cracks that are already existing, and will come up wherever there is a place for them to come up. So in the instance of the images on our website, they're coming up through cracks in the road. People have seen them, these blue flames in vegetated areas that are several feet away from the fronts of the lava flows, and they're definitely something to be aware of, because if the methane gets trapped underground and it's ignited, then it can cause a very large explosion, which will throw blocks several meters away from the location from the explosion site.
Thank you for coming out. I just have a few slides, I promise, to give you an update of the activity of the past day or two. Just as I said last week, I'll say it again tonight, it's been very hard for me to keep up with all of the changes that have occurred out in the Fisher complex in Leilani Estates and just below over the past 2 or 3 weeks. So we have some people in the back who have been working out at night, trying to track the flows, to provide information to the EOC. So if you have specific questions, please go to the back of the room after the evening. They'll be glad to help you out. So this is a map that you've seen before of the eastern tip of the island. The red areas are the areas that have been covered by lava over the past, since May 3rd. And we have numbered vents from up here upslope, vent 11, all the way down to number 17. So I may have a few mistakes. We'll see how this goes. The most active fissure right now is fissure 8, and it's the one in the black circle. And it has been feeding lava for the past couple of days out toward the northeast. And that particular flow has reached past the PGV access road and also has crossed Highway 132. There are 3 other vents that were active this morning during the overflight. 19, 20, and 18. The numbers aren't very important, but number 18 is the one that was generating a new lava flow that was moving toward the east. And this afternoon, the location has reached about this area right here, and it was still active. So that just marks the distance of the lava flow that's traveled from fissure 8 in the past couple of days. This is what the lava flow looks like leading toward the east from fissure 18 from this morning's overflight at about 6:30 in the morning. You can see it's a channelized flow. Channelized flow here, levees on either side, and this is the source area up here. You can see the lava is being distributed in different areas, so it's not all being channeled in one location. This is what fissure 8 looked like actually at about noontime, not 6:30. I was in too much of a hurry to check my time. So this was taken at about noontime. The lava fountain is among the highest that we've seen so far. It's on the order of almost 200 feet, perhaps a little bit higher. And as a consequence, the fragmentation of the lava fragments leads to small pieces of lava or spatter, and also Pele's hair that can get wafted up from the heat above that plume, and then the winds will carry it downwind. Pele's hair is a little coarser than our hair, but it's made of volcanic glass. And so you'll see maybe strands of the hair on your car or your windshield. And if you pick it up and crush it, you're going to get glass shards in your fingers and your hand. So please be careful when you're trying to deal and brush away Pele's hair that may land on the ground. This is a view this afternoon just before 2 o'clock of Highway 132 of lava, lava flow impinging on the road, and it crossed it within an hour later. This is an aerial view of that lava flow coming from fissure 8, which is back off the screen to the right. And it is crossed the road here, and it looks like these other areas may cross the road as well. This lava flow is moving more or less along one of the paths of steepest descent. And I put this larger scale map so that you could see The location of that lava flow right here across the highway, and where, if it keeps going and it follows the lowest point, then it could still follow that blue line for some unknown distance. It all depends on the vent conditions and how the history of the lava flow changes over time. So with that, I'll end, and we'll be happy to answer your questions at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Hawaiian Volcano Observatory reports eruption activity continues in the lower east rift zone. The middle portion of the fissure system continues to be the most active. There are 3 lava flows entering the ocean between Pohoiki Bay and Mackenzie State Park. Lava eruption continues in the area of Leilani Estates and Lani Puna Gardens from Fissure 22, which is feeding the 2 other ocean entries. Fissure 7 reactivated this morning and is actively fountaining lava. The flow is moving towards the east into Leilani Estates. It has covered Kaupili and Mohala streets between Leilani Avenue and the fissure line. Due to frequent ash emissions at the Kilauea summit and increased sulfur dioxide emissions, residents should take action to limit exposure. Due to the volcanic activity, the following policies are in effect. Be aware of the laze hazard and stay away from any ocean plume. Residents downrift of the lava flows should be prepared to voluntarily evacuate at a moment's notice. For more information about the ocean entries and the most up-to-date maps, visit the USGS Hawaiian Volcanoes Observatory's website. Residents can learn more about current sulfur dioxide emission levels and forecasts by visiting the University of Hawaii's Fog Measurement and Prediction Project website. Due to the current activity, stay alert to messages issued by Civil Defense. We are on watch 24 hours a day for your safety. This is your Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency.
My name is Merrick Nishimoto, Deputy Director, Department of Public Works. And standing behind me is Don Smith, head of the Big Island Department of Transportation State Highway System. Before I start, I'd like to call forward Neil Azevedo. Neil, could you please step forward? Neil, big bell. Hey. A big part of our success here for keeping the roads open and keeping people safe is because of this man here. Call him the Gentle Giant. Thank you. Big round of applause for him. Because of his work, we have some of the roads still open. Okay, at this time, 132 is open. 130 is also open, which is a state highway. So I will let Don Smith speak about that in a little bit. Some of the evacuation routes which we have in place. Talmadge Magno touched very briefly about it. Railroad Avenue. At this time, it is not open for daily commuter traffic, nor is it open as an evacuation route at this time. However, Neil Azevedo and his crew are manned and on call 24/7. So if the need arises, we can open that road up very quickly. The other evacuation route which his crew worked on was Beach Road, from Four Corners all the way over to Hawaiian Shores. Thank you. The other potential evacuation route, which is being currently worked on by the state DOT, is Chain of Craters Road. So at this point, I would like to turn over the mic to Don Smith to talk about Highway 130 and also Chain of Crater Roads and any other topics he might want to talk about tonight. Don?
We walked up, you thought I was his bodyguard, didn't you? He's tougher than me, he don't need it. I do appreciate everybody coming out tonight. As Merrick said, we are in charge of 130, and that is my primary role. So right now, my primary focus is on doing everything I humanly can possible to keep 130 open to traffic. I will continue to do that. We currently, as you know, have the plates. I have a plan that if the heat goes up, that I can insulate that and cover it and still remain to keep it open, hopefully. I have a plan after that that includes some heat insulated concrete and steel, that I can bridge it as well. So that will remain to be my primary objective. Having said that, we do need a backup plan. I am now currently coordinating with the National Park System to get everything in place to open up Chain of Craters as an emergency evacuation route. You know, I could kind of get used to this applause. Well, I'm kind of keeping it light, but it's very serious. And I'm taking it very serious. And we're going to do everything that we can to be able to maintain that access. So we are working also on Highway 11. There was some damage there due to the earthquakes. We are working on some active monitoring at those sites so that we can keep eyes on them and be able to react as quickly as possible. So, like Merrick, I'll be around afterwards to answer some questions if anybody has, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.